What is up, everybody? Welcome to another fun-filled episode. First one of the year, Totally Gamescast, coming at you with all the gaming stuff. We took a couple weeks off because of the holidays, but we're coming back at you every Wednesday now on twitch.tv/TotallyTrey, 4:30 to 5:30. Follow us on social channels, though, to keep updates and everything. But let's kick it into high gear right away. High energy,
dude,
podcast
right
here.
Okay,
I got that coffee coursing through my veins.
Fuck yeah, we're going to do some predictions for 2019. Sean's going to pop it off to start with his crazy-ass predictions.
Yeah.
Mad scientist Sean over here.
Some of them are crazy, some of them aren't too crazy. I follow so much gaming publications and stuff out there. What's up, Doc Smog? Love to see you.
Why so late, dude? We start at 4:30 every Wednesday for the Totally Gamescast, brother. We were exactly on time.
Kind of, sort of. But hey, we've been planning things out. So let's kick it off, though. I have 5 predictions each, and we're going to be doing a Totally Gamescast next year, the first one of 2020, where we do a point system. And then we'll just leave it up to the chat to like pull off like half points here, whatever here. So to kick it off, you know me, I love Nintendo. I'm blowing out my mic, so apologies for that. But Nintendo will announce Metroid Prime 4, and it will come out this year. And on top of that, before that comes out, Metroid Prime Trilogy on Switch, physical and digital release. That's my first prediction.
I've literally never played a Metroid Prime outside the first one, so how were the rest of them?
So I have played Metroid Prime on GameCube and 2, didn't beat either of them, and I definitely didn't play 3. I believe that's Corruption. Second one's Echoes. But I never even beat any of them. I've never played Super Metroid, which some say is like, especially since I love Dead Cells, like I gotta play it.
Yeah, I would give it a playthrough. You'd like that game.
We'll be discussing Super Metroid a little bit later in the episode, but let's kick it to you for your first prediction. What's going to go on the record, man?
On the record? Oh, man. So this one's probably my riskiest prediction here. Pokemon main series that's dropping this year is going to be not good.
Oh, my God.
I think it's going to be probably really fucking shitty, honestly.
Jesus Christ.
Have you played, like, the GameCube, like, Celebi fucking Pokemon game? Horrible game. I just think that any 3D translation of Pokemon is going to turn out to be like doo-doo butter.
Dang.
And like I just don't think that Nintendo hasn't been like, I don't know, doing anything like super new or crazy for me that like they would make me think that that's going to be good, you know? Yeah, it wasn't good, Smog.
They had like a couple walk around like weird things too, like on 3D or DS as well.
Yeah.
Like the Master Dungeon, whatever.
Yeah, and like Pokemon Detective and shit like that. And like I just don't have a huge amount of faith for it. I mean, I would be super pleasantly surprised if it was great, you know. I just think personally it's probably not going to be this competitive game that everyone's like yearning for, you know.
And you're talking about the one that comes out on the Switch this year, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly this year.
Yep, that's my prediction anyway.
Okay, all right.
The GameCube was a great system. The Pokemon game on GameCube was not great.
I love the GameCube myself. That was my favorite of the 3 in that generation. I did enjoy Xbox for like about 6-12 months at the end of the cycle of that generation, but GameCube I played everything on. All my Tony Hawk Undergrounds, like everything. Because
I think
the loading
PS2
time
would be mine.
Really? The loading times though, man, they suck so bad for PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great system, honestly, still though. Like, I think the PS2 was like really awesome. And I'm honestly not like a Sony fanboy or anything, but that was one of my favorite Sony systems.
Sure. All right, so I'm going to get into my second prediction here. Mine's another Nintendo one. I love Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch is going to get an update this year, or at least announced this year, and it's going to include Bluetooth finally, so we can use our AirPods, us Apple AirPod users out there, or like just Bluetooth headphones. It's going to have a slightly better battery life. It's going to be dockless, and it's going to be at a higher price point, or at the $299 price point that the current Switch is at, and it's going to be called New Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch.
New Nintendo, like the new 3DS.
Yeah, for sure. That's like a reasonable prediction, you know. I think that they always kind of like hold back on system capabilities so that they can sell it at a higher price point later on. Yeah. I think a lot of companies do that. So I think that's a really reasonable one.
Nintendo Switch Fat will be lowered in price too, of course.
Yeah. Okay, well, so for my second prediction, I'm going to say that Anthem will be the new looter shooter of choice. I think it's going to overtake Destiny, even though we have some Destiny news later in the episode that may actually kind of sway that. But I think that based on what I've seen from Anthem, it looks fucking sick, dude. Like, oh my god, man. Like,
I'm getting hyped on this game, and I don't want to be because I have so many other games on my backlog I'm trying to get to.
Just don't buy Diablo, dude. Just save your money. Save it for Anthem, dude. Or Division 2.
Clem is already has Diablo, so homie out there, Clem, and I are going to be playing Diablo 3, a 6-year-old game on PlayStation 4. But I'm excited for Anthem, man. I'm actually really jazzed on the fact that EA could be come out swinging with this game, you know, like after a crappy year last year.
Well, I mean, isn't it with BioWare as well?
Right.
I like BioWare games. They made BioShock, right?
Yeah.
And I just think that they.
Oh no, BioWare made Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, I like that game too.
Totally.
The first one, but I mean, obviously they were kind of like on a downhill slope because people hated Mass Effect 3. I didn't really fucks with it very hard. I played like the first 20 minutes and didn't really feel engaged and like just
space, man. I'm just not a fan.
I love
overall.
space, dude. Like space is super cool. Like I honestly, at one point when I was like super balls deep in World of Warcraft, quit World of Warcraft to play the Star Wars MMO.
Okay.
And that was like a pretty disappointing thing. But
Yeah.
I'm always like hoping that there's cool space stuff, like that game that's coming out, The Outer Worlds.
Oh man, but that looks insanely
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, like space is cool,
Obsidian.
man. Like I was really hopeful for No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Like it was a cool idea, like
you
infinite
could totally
space
revisit
travel.
that, I think.
I could. I don't want to.
Right.
Fuck that game. Like, fuck those guys. For
Yeah,
doing-
I can see what you're saying. Like they lost all your goodwill, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
all
mean, yeah, no, fuck those guys. No
all right,
interest.
number
Trace.
Trace for me. Number Trey. Haas. Okay, so this is kind of a fun one, a little bit crazier. Microsoft's going to buy a big name developer. I heard Jason Schreier out there. I think it was him on another gaming podcast was talking about it, and he thinks that they're going to be buying a big name one. I love the idea. I'm aping this prediction. It's going to be one of the big 20. So what I mean by that is it's going to be someone like Bethesda or someone like Sega, EA, of course. I don't think that's going to happen. I think EA is still humongous, and so is Activision, of course.
Yeah.
They aren't going to buy them. But they already did buy Minecraft, you know? So, like, they're due. It's been 3-4 years, I think. They're due to buy another big name. Sega is a pretty obvious one. They've bought Rare before, you know? So, like, if they've done this before, where they bought a really big name, yeah, I think that's going to happen again. 2019.
Okay.
And they're going to be announcing an exclusive to go along with that, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's something I would never even like think to predict. Almost. You know what I mean? Like that's such like a. I can definitely see it happening. Like all of the big fish buying up all the little fish. You know. And like, so you're thinking it's gonna be one of the bigger names,
right?
Though, right? Not just like
some
indie studio or something, because I'm sure that they buy hundreds of indie studios a year.
Well, they already just announced those 3 names that they bought. You know, it was like I forget the other 2, but the main one in that group of 3 that they announced at the XO event in December was Obsidian. So the Outer Lands or whatever, the Fallout New Vegas.
Sure.
They bought them. That would not count in my like prediction because they aren't that big. Like they aren't in the top 20, 30 developers in my eyes.
Okay. Well, I think Obsidian's they were pretty big. What else they came out with some other pretty big games before that, hadn't they?
I'd have to have the homies out there tell us because I can't think of it off the top of my head. But they will buy a big name. It will be something like Bethesda, Sega, as far as how big they are. Yeah, that's my third prediction.
Yeah, I don't think that they can get Bethesda.
No, I know. Like, that would be the higher end, and that's why I say Sega being like a lower end.
Sure.
Tier-wise as far as games, tier-wise as far as dollar amounts.
Okay. Well, so my third prediction is Diablo Immortal is actually going to be an awesome game. It's not going to be a game that I'll care about at all, even if it's, like, great. I mean, I started playing this Ragnarok online on my phone.
No way.
Yeah, because, like, I played this game back, like, way back in the day, and, like, I just started playing that on my phone, and I cannot see it holding my attention at all, and I think that it would have the same effect on me as, like, I would play it on the couch while I'm like watching TV or something and be like, eventually just like not really care, So
right.
I think it'll be really cool. And then kind of a 2-part prediction. I also think that we're gonna see that Diablo 4 announcement this year.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah, totally.
People were saying that they had it and then they pulled it last minute right before their event last year.
Yeah.
Right in the beginning of November, I believe.
I think maybe
was it BlizzCon?
BlizzCon, I think that was just a rumor. They said that they had no intention of revealing that. So I think that was probably just a rumor, but I think that we'll see the actual announcement this year. So
okay, number 3, number 4 for me. Neither Microsoft or Sony will announce details or dates for their new consoles. The most that we'll get from either of them is like an image at the end of E3 for Microsoft, or at XO at the end of the year, for saying like 2020.
Yeah, no, I don't think that that totally makes sense. Like, I don't think that we've even really like maxed out these consoles yet. Like, I mean, Switch is pretty like not strong, like what's it called, technology wise. So I mean, I think, but the rest of them, I don't think we've even like maxed out their capabilities yet, so that makes total sense.
It seems like the tools that they have, Nintendo's giving out to developers, though, as far as like being able to down-res stuff easily, it seems like they're able to do it. Maybe it's just Unreal being awesome, or what are the other development tools out there? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but Unreal is a very, very popular one, obviously, with Epic. And so, yeah, and then there's those mid-tiers, too, like Sony PS4, Pro, and then the Microsoft Xbox One X. So like with those out there, I think it makes it easier to extend that lifespan, of course.
Totally.
Right? Because we're at 2013 and 2014, or 13, yeah, for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So we're going on the 6th calendar year.
Yeah. And it's usually, you said every 6 years is
5 to 7, yeah.
Yeah. So I would say next year is when we'll see like the announcements and stuff like that. So I think you're right on that one. So
cool. Let's pop it off with your 4th prediction.
Borderlands 3 announcement.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Borderlands 2 is a super fun game. I've honestly I don't know. I've been all on these looter shooter games lately, and just the game crossed my mind, and I thought that they'll probably drop that game, because how many years was it since Borderlands 2? It's probably been 6-7 years.
It has to be, dude, because I think I was playing Gears of War. Or no, I was playing League of Legends, the height of my League of Legends, dude, in like 2012, 13.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it has to be a long time. And dude, Borderlands 1, that was one of the very, very few games on that generation. So we're talking Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii. But that I played and like put in so many hours, and I almost got every achievement. Like,
oh damn, yeah,
I just loved that game. I had a crew. I had like a local friend group that I like actually hung out with in real life.
That's
playing.
what it's all about, dude.
Yeah, man.
Especially with the looter shooters, man. It's like really pointless getting gear if you have no one to like rub it in the face of.
Right? Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You have to be like, I got the loot and you didn't, you piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly never fucked with Borderlands 1, even though everyone says that it's better than Borderlands 2. From what I hear, though, the ending of Borderlands 1 was kind of doo-doo butter. Like,
yeah. Let me put it this way. It's been so long, I don't really remember it, so that's probably testament to how good it was. So.
Well, apparently, spoilers, guys. Spoilers for Borderlands 1. We'll just not do it.
Yeah. Okay, good call.
Anyway.
So, with the Borderlands, though, I want to ask you, what do you think, how many heroes, how many, like, kind of classes? Because I believe there's 3 in the first one, 4 or 5 in the second one. Do you think they'll go off the deep end and go, like, 7, 10?
No. I think that they're a smart company, and they'll probably keep it simple at first and add, like, DLC, kind of like they have, where they'll start with probably, I would assume, 4 to start, and then you'll go up to like 7 with DLC. You
Sweet.
Know what I
so
mean?
You think there'll be DLC?
Yeah, there's always DLC, dude. There's always DLC.
Sure. I'm excited, man. That's actually a really fun prediction. It gets me jazzed. So my 5th and final prediction for 2019, on the record here, Fallout 76 and Bethesda will have a redemption story on their hands. They will fix the game, a widely played game. It will become a widely played game, Fallout 76, and they'll have a whole bunch of free content. People at the end of 2019 will have a completely different idea on the company, on the game itself, and it will be a different game. It will be like a No Man's Sky situation.
So that's a yikes for me there.
I'm just hopeful, dude, because I feel like
it would be, yeah. I think that'd be awesome.
Right. Because I truly love Bethesda. I mean, look, we're getting to the point where, like, you cannot be releasing these games after game after game with so many bugs. Like, when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out and there's hardly any bugs, and all the ones that aren't, like, don't break the game. Or, like, Grand Theft Auto 5, like, come on, like... I feel like that game is pretty stable. Like, Rockstar does a good job polishing. Nintendo, very rarely is there any bugs in Nintendo games. Stuff like that. Like, Bethesda is known for it, and I think that it's time to clean up that act. Like, clean that up.
So, once a heart is broken, it's not easily mended. And I just don't think that it'll, like, be widely played. You know, I think that in No Man's Sky's case, it's not widely played. Like, it got like a little redemption story where a few people played it on Twitch. I don't think that it has like a huge number of concurrent players. I mean, we can check on Steam or
So what's a good way I can quantify this, though? Because I can't just say widely played. That's subjective to some extent.
I think that it would be like, we'll check the concurrent players, and then we can say like, just look at the number, and if it's widely played, like
all right,
I mean, like, widely played to me is probably over like 1,000, 2,000 people playing it
on
at
Twitch?
The same time. Like, I mean, on Steam or something. You know what I mean?
Good call. Was it on PC? 76?
Yeah, 76 is on PC, right?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know, dude. Like, we have the worst reporting ever, dude.
No, I'm just not a PC gamer.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. I would have to assume it would be, or else.
Either way, we can check. Like, we'll go into that when we get there.
I think
at the very least it will be a redemption story. So that's my fifth. That's all 5 of my predictions on the record.
All right. And
what's your last one?
My fifth one isn't actually isn't as exciting as yours. Mine is the Epic Store is going to do awesome sales and give Steam a run for its money. They've already sniped fucking Division 2, and like, I think that we're going to see a bunch more games where developers are like, see those dollar signs, see how much money Epic actually has, and like the amount of like market share they're going to be taking over the next few years, and they're going to be running to that better platform, you know. So I like this, but it's a little bit like too vague. So how about this? Do you think that with the Epic Store's success, that the 70-30 split that Steam currently offers developers, they'll match Epic? No.
Or they'll change. They'll change their 70-30 by the end of the year.
So.
No? Dang, I was hoping you'd.
I don't think that they'll change. I think that they control. They still are gonna have a lion's share of everything. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that, like, because they're giving them a run for its money, I think like Epic will probably have like 20% tops. You know what I mean? But it's still hurting Steam. You know what I mean? I don't think that Steam would change its plan based on that, though. I don't know.
All right, well, that is all of our predictions. I got a couple other ones on here that I'd like to just shout out, actually. But we'll get back to the Epic stuff, just because I know that Doc Smog in the chat loves GameCube. So I have one on here that might bring him some joy. Super Mario Sunshine is going to finally get an HD remake. They're going to clean up some of the third act of the game or whatever it is that's like completely bonkers, where you're like, and it's just when you're fighting like these wormy things, like the frame rate goes down to like 5 frames per second, which is like unheard of for a first-party Nintendo game.
Yeah.
So they're gonna clean up all that stuff, make it an HD remake, kind of like Wind Waker HD for the Wii U. That much love and care into it. So I hope that brings you some joy, homie. I think that they might do that. But yeah, I won't spit off any of the other ones. But let's kick it into. We're supposed to have a good segue because of that, but I wanted to tend to our homie out there.
Oh, it's good, dude.
So what do we got to discuss here now that we've got our predictions out?
Okay, well, you were talking about GameCube, and I just wanted to like touch on the fact I got that NVIDIA Shield, and I was like looking up more uses for it, and apparently there's like great emulators for it, and like you can get these huge like emulator catalogs for free, basically, where you can actually play like GameCube. It has like PSP emulators.
You would never download a game unless you actually owned its physical form, though, right, Trey?
Well, I wouldn't play it on stream. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
So who knows if he's actually ever playing these games? You know?
No, you can't improve shit. Fuck. But anyways, that goes actually to segues into your like Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay, yeah,
thing.
we can just do that. So if you guys were out there keeping in touch with these hackers, these hacker men out there, they've been hacking all the Nintendo Online stuff lately and getting a lot of details about the new emulators coming out. So there's four emulators. Two of them, let me see here. I got to get to this correct page. It's kind of split between here on the notes, but there's four emulators. Two of them are called the Kaichikachi, which is the NES Classic emulator, which we already know. We already have that with Nintendo Switch Online, which I believe you have. Did you ever pay for it?
No, I have it, but I didn't pay for it. Like, there's an NES emulator you get free on there.
Well, when you pay for the subscriptions.
Oh, yeah. Nintendo Online, yeah. You have to do that to play Smash Bros. Or whatever.
Right,
I got you.
online, yeah, totally. So then they had the Canoe emulator, which is just the SNES Classic. So that's pretty rad. And not only did they find that in the data for the Nintendo Switch Online, they also found a list of 20 games. A lot of these games appeared on the SNES Classic, which I have, which I've never even turned on. Like, it's just like a cool thing to have underneath my TV.
Yeah, right.
So, but on there, dude, is like a whole bunch of awesome games, like the Super Metroid. I would totally play that. Super Mario World, my favorite Mario game of all time.
This list is stacked, honestly. Breath of Fire, Super Mario All-Stars, Mystical Ninja, Punch-Out, fucking F-Zero.
The Star Fox 2 that was only released on the SNES Classic.
Yeah, dude, there's some like really good games on there.
Super Mario Kart, and dude, like guys, like these games will have online capability. That's
so you mean you can play them like actually with people online?
There will be online elements, even if it's just a leaderboard where you can play against your friends' high score for some of these games. They're just like with the NES games on Super or Nintendo Switch Online. There's an online aspect to it, so it's pretty.
That's interesting.
Pretty
I was actually just about to say that I can't see any reason though that anyone would ever pay for these again, because there's been like so many. Like, through the years, there's been so many cracks and, like, ways to get these games for free. Like, on the Wii, you could do it. Like, I'm sure there's, like, a million other ones. I bet you could do it on the GameCube or some shit.
Right,
like, where
dude.
It has, like, every game. I know that for the Nintendo DS, they have cracked games that have, like, 400 games that you can buy for $5. Like I said, not condoning any piracy or illegal use of Nintendo products, but you'd have to be an idiot to pay for them, is what I'm saying.
Man, I bought like the original Super Mario Bros. Like literally 4 or 5 times. Like, and that's not even counting the Nintendo that I got for like birthday present.
Yeah,
like when I was like 4. So the other aspect about this story though that I found super interesting is data miners found the SNES Classic. Okay, like that emulator is gonna be rad. But they also found 2 other emulators that they have no idea, like, because they're like Japanese names, but they have no idea what these could be. So what could these be? Like Nintendo 64, GameCube, Game Boy. So the other ones are called Hyoko and Count. Just the Count emulator and the Hyoko. I can't really say it correctly, so I'm sorry if I'm butchering it out there, any Japanese speakers, but that's pretty rad, dude. So we have 2 more aspects to make the Nintendo Switch Online, which is already $20 for a year. I mean, it's pretty appealing.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're able to play games with friends online.
Well, if it's like free with the Nintendo Online, that'd be really cool of Nintendo to actually be giving some shit out for free, you know, for once in their entire life. So I mean, props to them if that's the case. But I'm like,
Sony and Microsoft give away so many games. Like, it's literally over $1,000 a year for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Gold. Live Gold. So
like I always say, 2 games a month on Epic Store too, so
right.
They're free, you know. And I mean, it's not like they're giving out like really shitty games. It's like Super Meat Boy is one, and then like what is it? I don't remember.
Ashen,
Edith Finch or whatever.
Dude.
The Remains of Edith Finch.
I want to play that so bad. If that comes to Switch, I'm playing that.
Yeah, no, it's free on PC right now on Epic Store.
I just downloaded last night Celeste. Free.
Oh, yeah.
Games with gold. Like, I was just
really?
about to pay $20 for Switch, and now I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, Celeste is a great game too. I've been actually seeing a lot of people play that. Like, I watched a little bit of the Awesome Games Done Quick or whatever.
Yeah,
I saw Celeste. It was crazy how fast they were blasting through that fucking game on that, dude.
Dude, let's pop into the next story, though. That's a great segue by you.
Dude,
to Awesome Games Done Quick. Charity Marathon collected $2.39 million to prevent cancer.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of it?
I watched some of it. I was watching the Celeste portion, actually, and like I was saying, they were crushing, but what a cool thing, what a crazy amount of money that they've raised for, what was it, cancer awareness?
Yeah, prevention and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude. I actually watched, I love that your note in the doc here. It's GDQ, so Games Done Quick, has raised over $19 million. Who says gaming's a waste of time? And I put arrow, literally you, every time we talk about gaming. But, like, not in a bad way. You're just, like, you understand. Like, you're not doing anything. Like, you're just doing it for entertainment. Just like watching a movie could be deemed as...
Yeah, no. I mean, unless you're learning something from what you're doing or, like, whatever... It's kind of a waste of time. But I think that when you put a good spin on it like this, where it's a charity thing...
Sure.
Like a huge waste of time becomes a huge powerful tool that can move mountains, you know, which is fucking awesome, you know.
I was watching this Games Done Quick, like I watch it every once in a while because they do a lot of events, like I would say a few a year at least, if not like dozens. I mean, smaller events. And I was watching this guy play blindfold, like random Mario games and stuff. Just what the heck? How can you play a game blindfold?
Dude.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And like he's running through, like jumping through, like...
Oh, yeah. No, like, I mean, people's capabilities in games is so astounding. Like, so, like, Dark Souls 3, there's a speed run that's done in 32 minutes. I've spent probably 30-some hours on that game and, like, horrible at it. This guy's busting through it in 30 minutes.
It's bonkers,
I mean,
man.
Yeah, but then there's people that can play Dark Souls 3 on, like, the Donkey Kong bongos. You know what I'm talking about? Like, psycho shit like that, dude. Like,
dude.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
That's insane. So, like, I was thinking about this. Like, when I'm playing, so, like, my PlayStation 4 is in the living room. I'm playing God of War. Lydia's trying to talk to me. We're trying to have a conversation about whatever. And I'm like... Stop talking to me because I can't even focus. These guys are like explaining what they're doing. Of course, they have like a moderator with them or a facilitator, usually, but they're still talking while they're gaming, like at the most elite level.
Oh yeah, no, crazy. Like it's crazy to think about them speed running these like pretty intense things, but you got to think. These guys do this all of the time, you know, and a lot of them are streamers, you know, so they're used to talking to chat, and if they were not talking to chat while they're streaming, they're probably a really shitty streamer, you know, so I just think that's like kind of like a natural skill set that comes with the business, you know, but it is really impressive nonetheless, especially at that like high level, like, of concentration it takes to speed run.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Props to them for sure.
What do we want to pop into next? What's up with that Bungie Activision split and how do you feel about it?
So I guess Activision transferring all rights back to Bungie for Destiny 2. I think that it's like a good thing for Bungie, and like even if it's just kind of like a publicity stunt, I think that it's going to help pull that whole community together because they all fucking hated Activision, you know, and like always were like, this is some Activision bullshit, you know, so worst case, they'll probably be more behind the decisions of the developers just because Activision's out of the picture.
Yeah, man. I mean, just like you were saying, like, Anthem is going to be amazing this year, sure, but I think Destiny's going to see a good, decent uptick from, like, Bungie getting the rights back.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny has... Destiny has, like, a really solid, like, built-in community, you know, of people that just really fucking love that game. Corporatism, man.
Got XP up in here. What's up, man? Thank you so much for joining us.
Dude, I just am hoping that Activision sells Blizzard, dude, because that company has just gone down the shitter since Activision has bought them up. It's like literally bad decision after bad decision. Now they're cutting. There was like a story I had in here a while back about how they cut like a whole bunch of Heroes of the Storm staff.
Yeah.
And like stopped all the tournaments that were coming without notice. So just
they put all the like developers on different projects too.
Yeah, and this year was bad for them, so they've just been cutting costs around the board, you know. And I watched an interesting video talking about how Blizzard Activision really takes advantage of the fact that it's a dream job, and the people that work for them, in a lot of cases, are promised these bonuses and are working for like less than they can like actually like pay rent, you know? So they live in these like commune blizzard houses that are like 5 or 6 dudes working with college degrees, working for like a AAA studio that can't even afford to like eat, you know what I mean? And pretty sickening, honestly.
Totally.
So, I mean,
that's that dream job, dude. That people like really, really feed off of, like people that are just trying to get out there and do their dream job, whether that's like using them for freelance work for 6 months before they even like hint at offering them a full-time gig.
Absolutely.
What I love about IGN is that I know for a fact they pay their freelancers. So it's pretty rad. Like, you gotta pay your freelancers.
No, I mean, like,
period.
That's a good business practice. And I mean, like, do you want to
paying
be
interns too?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to be a company that like has this kind of publicity? You know what I mean? I would be willing to like lose some of that stock in order to like just make a good company that I can be proud of, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Everyone's got to eat.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, hopefully this is a good thing for Destiny, and Sean said this is the best news that Destiny fans could receive. So,
I mean, that's how I think. I mean, yeah, Activision, just like .xp said, corporatism. Mother effort. So, what do we want to pop into next? We got a boatload of topics up in here, thanks to you.
So this one is, I think that this one's pretty funny. So a suspected cosplayer stalker sets 7 cars on fire at an anime convention. So I thought that this was fucking hilarious, dude. So the main target was Julio Moreno Jenkins, and I actually should have looked up a picture of her because I want to know if she's hot.
You think that's a her because of the Julie O? It could be a dude.
It's a Julia, baby.
Oh, I thought you said Julie O.
No, Moreno. Julia Moreno. But yeah, no, it's a pretty good KD if you're looking at like cars anyway.
I think it's horrible though. Let's just like stomp on this story right now because this dude has obviously got a screw or 2 or 3 or 7 screws loose, one for each car.
So security footage shows men around 2 a.m. walk up to a car with 2 cans of gasoline. He dumped the cans and flicked a match.
What a Looney Tune.
Dude, this guy, I guarantee he was wearing a fedora. I almost guarantee. And he was like, just like vibe in the Matrix this whole time.
Do we have a picture of him?
Oh, dude, no. But I just want to flick, like, I just want to see the footage of him just, like, flicking it over his shoulder with his fedora and just tilting his hat while the cars go up on
Trench
fire.
coat, though. He had a trench coat.
Oh, dude. He's fully channeling the Matrix, dude. He was wearing sunglasses at night. Oh. It would have been a sight to see, is all I'm saying. But
rest in peace, those automobiles. What's up,
The suspect identified by hotel CCTV by Jenkins and her husband. The stalker was previously known to the victims, so it looks like he's already been caught. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. Stalking done wrong.
Well, so it's like interesting because there's like all of these like increased security measures at these cons, but it like doesn't fucking stop people from being crazy
in the parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. And like the security doesn't help you if you're an internet celebrity in the parking lot.
So no one was hurt though, right? It's just the cars,
but
right?
basically the cars spread and it ended up destroying 7 cars. So
his original targets were 2 cars, and then the other cars were just the fire spread onto them.
Yep. No, it's pretty crazy, man. So anywho, where are we going next, buddy? So
wherever you want, man. This show is a conversational show.
Dude.
But we can pop over to let's do the Nintendo CEO Shuntaro Furukawa. He hints at a consoleless future for Nintendo. This is a story that I just read this morning, so just catching Trey up on this. I know he probably read my notes, but this was through Fortune. I liked it. I'm trying to shout out to the sites that even though I know Fortune's like a huge site, but like shout out to like Nintendo Everything, for instance. So that's who I got the Nintendo story on earlier. But he said in an interview with Nikkei, which is a Japanese publication similar to what's that huge one? Starts with an F. Listeners, no, the Japanese gaming publication that does 40 out of 40 for
Fukushima?
No.
I don't know.
Nagasaki? Tokyo? No.
It's one of the only Famitsu.
Yeah, Famitsu. Heck yeah. Thanks for the love, Captain Canuck.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yeah, so similar to Famitsu in a way that's like just a gaming publication in Japan. And Nintendo Everything translated their interview, and the key takeaways are Nintendo is not going to be focused on consoles. So Mr. Furukawa, Kawa, he pretty much has always, like, he came on board last year, and he said from the get-go he's going to shake things up in Nintendo. So for him to like come out there in a huge publication in his homeland and be like, say like, we are not focused only on consoles. If technology changes in the future, we're more than willing to change with it. I love that take though.
Well, no, it's crazy because now you can literally rent like a high-end gaming PC and play it digitally or like remotely. I mean, it's fucking crazy. And like we're gonna be entering this like phase where you don't have to have this gaming PC, and I think that's literally the direction we're headed, where consoles aren't going to be there. You know what I mean? Right. It's going to be a super smart TV that has an app for your fucking console. You know what I mean? So that's smart of them to be making that call already. So,
right, man.
I mean, props to Nintendo, because I normally don't think that they're ahead on technology. They're always trying to do something fun and unique, but that's really smart of them.
I think this new CEO's in his early 40s too. So like he's very young, he's hip, he's not stuck in his ways, you know.
The Justin Trudeau of fucking Nintendo, baby.
Other key takeaways, real quick. Nintendo Switch is the current way to deliver the Nintendo experience, but as those technology changes, they're not afraid to go with it. And a good example of that is the Assassin's Creed Odyssey. In Japan, you can pay for a service. I'm not quite sure like the specifics, but you can stream that game to your Switch. So you aren't playing the game like on a game card or a download. You're just streaming it. So that's not available, of course, in the U.S. Our infrastructure in the U.S. is awful. Our internet infrastructure. We all know that.
Shit.
But
Comcasted, baby.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we haven't had any drops, because the last few days I've had like the worst streams, bro. Just because my internet's just
not cool. Dude. Well, I'm glad that we haven't either. Hopefully we're still live, right?
Yeah, true.
No, but that's so cool. Like we're gonna have the Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4 gaming experience at some point in time on Nintendo, probably in the US. Might take a couple more years for us. Other key takeaways: through the struggles, Nintendo has always thought about what to make next, and this CEO Furukawa is saying that in the long term, this doesn't always make sense to stick with home consoles, and being flexible. Flexibility is just as important as ingenuity. So, man, this guy just knows what he's talking about. He says smartphones will be a huge aspect of... God damn it. Loki, I love you, man. Thank you so much. He got me off now. But smartphones will continue to be a huge aspect of the company, continue to be with that third pillar, essentially. I mean, we'll be the second because 3DS is about to die off. But company held up on console releases. The company was held up on console releases and other physical releases like the NES Classic, SNES, other things like that, because of their internal approval process, he says. And he's already in the process of developing a 5-person committee to approve these things quicker and take down the red tape.
Yeah, the fucking bureaucracy fucking everything up. Bureaucracy standing in the way of progress. Progress of the games that we need to fucking get our jellies.
Yeah. So, dude, it's just long story short, this guy is awesome. I love this interview. Thank you again to Nintendo Everything for that translation. But, man, he's hip. He's fly. He's going to bring some cool stuff to the the US, to the Switch.
Hell yeah, dude.
So cool.
So I think on that note, of great progress of video games, I think that we should talk about the de-evolution of gaming and entertainment in general. The Fortnite YouTuber that dabbed for 10 hours motherfucking straight.
Hey, if you in the chat watched him for even a single minute, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you even know the user? It was on Twitch, right?
I didn't want to give him one shred of publicity, honestly. I didn't want to give that to him, because I think this is the worst thing possible. It's horrible, dude.
This nameless dork.
So basically, he received $2,000 in donations, got 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and broke his headphones apparently from dabbing too hard.
So it was on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently the max length of the Fortnite Infinite Dab is 10 hours. And so is the maximum length of a YouTube stream.
Oh.
Or like a YouTube video, I think, is 10 hours or whatever. So he reached the max there. It ended up being approximately 7,200 dabs per hour, DPH.
Nice.
But
Science.
I was watching this, and he was not dabbing the whole time, is all I'm saying, bro.
That
like,
son
if
of a
I was
gun.
doing the dabathon, I would commit to the motherfucking 10 hours of dabbing. This guy, I saw him, like, fucking off. Like, he had his hands down, and some of his dabs, I'll show you. I'll show you some of these dabs. Some of them were like, it's like, no.
Oh, he's doing Thriller.
He's like going, yeah, no, the fucking.
He's trying to do the Thriller.
No.
We got Skyzim up in here with the dab form was pretty weak,
Yeah,
to be
I mean,
honest. So, okay.
There was points where his dab form was on point, dude. But, like, honestly, overall, very unimpressed with his dabbing. I think this is a step backwards for entertainment and dabbing in general. And this is basically the reason why I think people think millennials are pieces of shit. You know? Like, shit like this, bro.
So I feel like dabbing's only cool when it's, like, unexpected and it is perfectly just, like, boom. It's a surprise, right? Like, it has to be...
In my opinion, there's a very, very, very few dabs that have ever been impressive to me.
Well, so how about this? I've seen this before, like the kiss cam. It's like a couple is about to kiss at a baseball game or something, and there's a kid. There's a kid in the back that just dabs.
Okay,
like that's kind of funny.
I can appreciate it, but I think that they could take that up a level and get the gnome, like get a gnome in the way, like like gnome. I think the dabs kind of like. Probably 2017 by now.
Okay.
So I don't know, man.
In internet years, the dab is like an old man.
Oh, dude, you're fucking ancient if you're still dabbing.
You should be doing the orange backpack kids dance or whatever, right?
No, did you actually? So this isn't one of our actual stories, but his mom is actually suing Epic.
Yeah, dude. It's not only him. It's like this certain law group out in somewhere in the country, like a very famous law group. It's like 5 big time names. It's like Smith, Gargantuan, Johnny. It's like 5.
That's a law firm that I can get behind.
David, Goliath, Smith, Gargantuan, Johnny, whatever. But it's like this law firm out there is just going out there trying to get everyone they can to like get this class action lawsuit going on. So they got, what up, Van Wedge?
So they're all trying to get Fortnite.
Yes.
Fortnite dances.
So what's the guy? The guy from Bel Air.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
Bel Air,
him too.
Yes.
So it's him.
Carlton. I don't know.
Yeah, it's him and the backpack kid and somebody else. So it's 3 big names. Then they have nowhere to stand. Like Epic's gonna walk all over them.
Well, yeah, no. First thing for the Orange Kid dance, it was a fucking like user-based contest. So like they submitted the dance. Second thing, it's not even his fucking dance, dude. It's like a dance that he like saw on the internet that he like emulated or whatever. Yeah. The Millie Rock is suing him too.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's the third one.
Dude,
Thank you.
Chat has been on point.
Yeah.
Today, which honestly, dude, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say chat usually isn't helpful.
Hey, you got a lot of homies in here.
Yeah,
But you guys are
Thanks
killing
for
it.
coming, guys.
Thanks for the help on this episode. But yeah, this is what the whole point of Totally Gamescast, to bring you guys in, talk with you about these subjects. So I think that Epic is going to walk all over them. No one's going to get any money, but there is an argument to be made that if they get enough people to sign up, Epic will just settle.
Yeah, they will.
So they'll make like $5,000 each or something, or like
They'll probably just settle anyways. Like, it just seems like
everybody wants a piece. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I can see the Carlton and stuff. Like, I mean, I don't know, but it's a dance, man. Like, I just think that these people are just being, like you said, just want a piece, being kind of greedy, So, hey, thank you very much for the sub there, Canuck. Really appreciate that, brother. So I guess we can move on to the Epic offers free cross-platform services for developers.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, that's really cool. I mean, basically giving, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here, but it has cross-platform login, friends, presence, profile, and entitlements are coming sometime between Q2 and Q3 of 2019. And I just think it's a good direction for gaming. I think we're going to see more and more cross-platform shit popping off as we go to a console-less future. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, for sure. And these companies that have such big games out there like Fortnite are able to have their own login. You know, it's not just tied to an Xbox Live account. It's tied to more.
Carlton was playing.
Alfonso Riviero. Yes, you are correct, Van Wedge. Thank you.
Wow, I think that guy actually got trapped in the 90s. I don't even know if he actually made it out. And you're very helpful, Van, especially when it comes to English things.
I know. I'm happy you spelled two right because I was worried for some reason.
Dude,
I don't know.
Anyone that spells two, uses the incorrect form of two in my chat is permaban.
I hate it. I just can't do it.
No,
man.
you're fucked.
I'm an English major myself, so
I don't need that shit in my life, dude. So anyway.
So speaking of cross-platform play, though, I love it. The news just came out this week. Rocket League is the next game, the second game to enter into a beta for cross-platform play on PlayStation with other consoles. So that's insane, dude. Fortnite had the open up the floodgates, I think.
Oh yeah, no, and Rocket League is a great game for that too. It's just like a fun, goofy game that you can goof around with your friends and not take super seriously. I think that's gonna bring a resurgence to Rocket League, which has its ups and downs, but just because it's popular, and then there will be a tournament, and then people will lose interest in it or whatnot. So, oh yeah, I've also heard that Smite is going cross-platform, and that's another great game. Not
PS4. With PS4, but going cross-platform is huge, man. Like that just opens up. Like I honestly think that games that when you have the ability to go cross-platform, that will slowly but surely start killing off the people out there that scream, "F Microsoft, I love Sony," or "F Nintendo, I love Microsoft."
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Killing the gaming.
I mean, if PS4 keeps on doing this, I won't buy a PS4 because it's just adding friction to like me.
If they
playing
keep
with my
not.
friends. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the next 2 years they keep on being like, we're not doing any cross-platform, we're gonna be the one system that stands out and doesn't do that, I'm intentionally gonna go out of my way to avoid that product.
Right.
Because like I don't want there to be friction between me and my friends, you know. I just want to fucking play, you know.
Yeah, so for instance, it is affecting me right now because like Clem, one of my friends has a PlayStation 4. I just got a PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox One. If I want to play a game with you, Nick, Gandy, Clem, and me all play together, well, it will never work because you have a PS4, me and Clem do. Nick has an Xbox One. I have an Xbox One. Nick has an Xbox One. Neither of you guys have one. You know, so like, there's so many instances. That's why I think PC gaming is still huge and so appealing. Like,
oh yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's just like one of the easier platforms to go cross-platform. You know what I mean? Even though PC Master Race kind of just shits on the competition. Like, I mean,
I'll stick with my weak ass Nintendo Switch any day. I love it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So I guess I don't really know where else we gotta go. We still have another 10 minutes. So EA cancels the open world Star Wars game. I'm thinking this has to do with their rough year, and then maybe the game was costing too much, or maybe it was too shitty. But honestly, that would have been a really cool game.
There was an image that I showed you right before the podcast, or Totally Gamescast today, that was 2002 to 2006, I think, when LucasArts, the gaming company, LucasArts Gaming or whatever.
No, that picture was interesting.
It was like literally 12 or 13 games, and you were like looking at them. You're a big Star Wars fan, big enough to have known all of those games were great, like fun games. You'd played them, or pretty much all.
The picture said, like, what was the year for
2002 to 2006.
Yeah, and there was like 12, 13 great fucking games, and then it showed,
13 to 2017. Star Wars Battlefield 2 by EA. Like, when EA, so the whole meaning or point behind it is, like, whoever EA's owned the license for just the same amount of time, put out two games that really not that many people loved, not huge hits. I mean, flops almost. Like, people are saying Star Wars Battlefront 1, like, it got down to like $9 on Black Friday, like around 2014 or 15. I got it. Yeah, I remember playing it for like 18 seconds.
I bought both of them. They're both not really, they didn't hook me at all. And like the older Battlefront games for Xbox and stuff hooked me instantly. I was like loving those games. You'd like, it was kind of like Grand Theft Auto targeting, where you'd like click the button and target, and you'd just be like playing a stormtrooper, and it was a great game. But these new ones
What do you think Disney's gonna do about this? Like, they still have I think it's a 10-year contract, so they have like 2013 to 2022, 23. They still have plenty of time to still screw it up, even worse. But like, do you think Disney will try to find a way out of this contract? I mean, 2 games in 4 years. I know games take forever to develop. I'm not trying to say like I know anything about that world or put any other developers out there down, but man, 2 compared to 12, and they were not great games. I mean, what are they going to do? Disney's got to get out of this contract.
I think that I think they're probably profiting off these games still, though, right? So I think they're probably fine just putting a Star Wars sticker on any shitty product and like being okay with it. I think that maybe people will catch on. I know that there was like the big controversy with EA microtransactions on one of the previous games where you couldn't get even close to all the content without putting in like hundreds of dollars for microtransactions or something like that.
Yeah.
And I know that was a big controversy, so I think that either maybe they're rethinking everything or whatever, but they do need to do something different because I can't think of the last EA game that I liked.
yeah, for sure. Man, I really just I kind of despise the fact that everyone's always crapping on EA just because like they aren't the worst company ever. It literally scores as the worst company ever, like every year. Seriously, I think it's JD Power or something, like one of those like reviewing it's in the game, one of those reviewing companies out there says that they're like the worst company, like as far as like customer service, as far as like all the how their quality of games are and whatnot. I just don't agree with that hate, but I do see like some people's hatred towards them. I mean,
yeah, I mean any microtransaction-y bullshit that like locks you out of content is just gonna get you some backlash. And, like, honestly, all their games are just shitty. And, like, gamers are, like, so passionate that they're either going to give you a 1 star or they're going to give you max stars. You know what I mean? So I think that...
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. We can kind of segue to Fortnite gets an F in Better Business Bureau ratings.
There we go.
So, finally talking some shit on Epic. It's... So... I guess this really isn't talking shit because I'm like just instantly defending them. So it's not necessarily representative of their customer service, but almost all of the complaints are regarding their refund policy. And also Fortnite isn't Better Business Bureau accredited, which basically means you pay to like have like special abilities on your account, like be able to remove bad ratings or something like that.
Yeah.
Epic Games says they're not affiliated with the Better Business Bureau. I'm having a hard time talking right now, dude. And has redirected all players submitted complaints from the Better Business Bureau to the player support staff. Another fun one to say.
Hey, that's pretty much my job for just a different company though.
Well, yeah, I mean like honestly, these are some parents that probably had their credit card stolen by their kid.
Totally.
Had like $100 credited.
No 12-year-old is putting a review on the Better Business Bureau.
They probably didn't know how to get to the refund screen on the interface to like get that back, basically, and then go to Better Business Bureau because it's an old, antiquated dinosaur of a website, basically. And, like, make their complaint there. You know what I mean?
There are so many of those out there, though. Like, these antiquated, old-ass review, like, sites. Consumer Affairs is old-ass review site. Consumer Reports. Like, there's just a bunch of these out there that I just, like our generation is like putting like reviews in like the App Store and stuff like that, and like this gen is like putting them then in this like magazine that people subscribe to every month.
I'm gonna email my complaint to www.betterhomesandgardens.com because my apple pie did not turn out how I wanted it to.
Exactly.
So. I don't know. Anyways, honestly, unless there's anything else you want to hit, we can just flip it into some Jackbox if you were still trying to stick
flip
around
it.
Play.
Yeah, man. So, like, another aspect of Totally Gamescast for 2019. First of all, it's weekly. I don't think we said that at the top of the show, but we're trying to do this every single week. But we're also going to play some games. So,
yeah.
Let's play some games, man.
Yeah, we're going to flip it over to some Jackbox. Unless something big changes, I think that'll probably be what we play, just because it's like a good game.
I mean, unless you want to get
a little bit better.
Well, unless you want to get your ass kicked in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
So my fear is that we would scare people off unless they get to like interact. You know what I mean? So like if we're just sitting there getting like
that's your fear,
dude. I'll fucking marth your dick hole.
I'll nest your fucking face off.
You couldn't text me this shit. You had to fucking put me on the spot like right here, bud. What is this fucking shit, bro?
No, I'm down to play Jackbox though. Jackbox is pretty tight, man. I've had so much fun. One of our friends, man. I mean, there's so many weird ass stories. You can draw like your character. If you guys aren't familiar, this is from Jackbox. So you got them on PC, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had them on PlayStation. So how are we gonna control this?
With our phones.
Oh shit, that's right. Damn, son.